It sees you before you see it. It tracks hundreds of aircraft at once, from 250 miles away. It tells fighters where to go, what to kill, and how to survive, all while flying circles in the sky far behind the battle. Every enemy air force knows exactly what it is. Every enemy air force wants to destroy it. And in over 40 years of combat operations, not a single one has ever managed to touch it. This is the E-3 Sentry AWACS, and today we're breaking down exactly why attacking it is nearly impossible. Introduction. What you're about to hear isn't just about one aircraft. It's about the reason the U.S. Air Force has dominated the skies in every major conflict since the 1980s. The E-3 AWACS isn't a fighter. It isn't a bomber. It doesn't drop a single weapon. But without it, American air power would be flying blind, and every pilot in the U.S. Air Force knows it. If you love learning about the aircraft and technology that keep America on top, drop a comment right now and type "eyes in the sky," because that's exactly what this machine is. What is the E-3 AWACS, and why does it matter? Let's start from the beginning, because understanding why the E-3 is so hard to kill starts with understanding what it actually does. The E-3 Sentry is built on the frame of a Boeing 707 commercial jet, with one feature that makes it instantly recognizable anywhere in the world. Mounted on top of the fuselage is a 30-foot wide rotating radar dome called a rotodome. It spins at 6 rotations per minute during operation, and inside it is one of the most powerful airborne radar systems ever built. The radar is designated the ANAPY-2. It's a pulse Doppler system with 360-degree surveillance. It detects aircraft at ranges over 250 miles, tracks hundreds of targets simultaneously, and has a look-down capability that spots low-flying aircraft against the ground below. Before AWACS, enemy jets could hide by flying low. The E-3 took that option away completely. The aircraft carries a flight crew of 4 and a mission crew of up to 19 specialists, weapons controllers, communications operators, electronic warfare officers, all actively managing the air battle from inside the cabin. They're directing fighters to intercepts, tracking enemy movements, coordinating strikes, and maintaining a real-time picture of everything in the surrounding airspace. The E-3 AWACS is the brain of the air battle, and that's exactly why every adversary wants it gone, and why the U.S. Air Force has made sure that's nearly impossible to achieve. The first layer: distance and altitude. The protection of the E-3 starts with something deceptively simple. Keep it far from anything that can hurt it. The AWACS never operates near the front lines. In a typical combat mission, it flies 150 to 250 miles behind friendly territory. At that distance, even the most advanced enemy fighters would need to penetrate layers of ground-based defenses and combat air patrols just to get within range. And while doing all of this from a safe distance, the E-3's radar is still watching everything. That 250-mile detection range means the aircraft covers an enormous area of sky without ever getting close to the action. Altitude multiplies this advantage. Operating between 29,000 and 40,000 feet, the radar horizon expands dramatically. An E-3 at 35,000 feet can monitor airspace that would require dozens of ground-based radar stations to cover from the surface. So by the time any enemy aircraft gets anywhere close, the E-3 has already been tracking it for a very long time. The second layer: it always knows your E coming. Here's what makes attacking an AWACS uniquely difficult. The moment an enemy pilot switches on his radar to search for a target, the E-3 already knows about it. Radar emissions travel in all directions. When a fighter activates its fire control radar, it broadcasts its presence across a wide area. The E-3's electronic support systems pick up those emissions instantly, identify the radar type, determine the direction, and alert the mission crew before the enemy pilot has even begun closing the distance. That means the AWACS gets advance warning of any aircraft intending to attack it. An enemy pilot turning on his radar to hunt for the AWACS is, in effect, announcing himself to the very aircraft he's trying to find. Once the crew knows a threat is inbound, they vector escort fighters toward it, direct surface to air missile batteries to engage, and alter the AWACS's own flight path to increase separation. All of this happens while the threat is still far away, because the E-3 saw it coming first. The third layer, the fighter escort. The E-3 AWACS never flies alone. Not ever. In any combat environment, it operates with dedicated fighter escort, typically F-15s, whose sole mission is protecting the AWACS from airborne threats. Think about what that means for an enemy pilot. He doesn't just have to find an aircraft flying deep behind friendly lines. He has to fight through escort fighters who already know he's coming, because the AWACS told them. Those fighters aren't reacting blindly. They're being directed by the very aircraft they're protecting, with complete situational awareness of the threat's position, speed, and heading. During the Gulf War in 1991, this combination proved completely dominant. Iraq had a capable air force. Their pilots knew the value of the AWACS and understood that blinding coalition air battle management would cripple U.S. effectiveness. And yet, Iraqi aircraft never successfully threatened a single E-3. The combination of standoff distance, electronic awareness, and fighter escort created a wall that simply couldn't be broken through. The fourth layer, electronic countermeasures. The E-3 also carries a classified self-protection suite the Air Force doesn't discuss publicly. What is confirmed, the aircraft carries radar warning receivers, chaff to create false radar returns, flares to decoy heat-seeking missiles, and electronic jamming systems to disrupt incoming threats. The communications architecture is equally hardened. The data links the E-3 uses to talk to fighters, ground stations, and naval vessels are encrypted and jam-resistant. An adversary can't simply flood the radio frequencies and blind the AWACS. The system was built to keep working in a fully contested electronic environment, what it would actually take to destroy one. Let's walk through what an enemy would actually need to do, because this illustrates just how layered the protection really is. First, find it, which means either detecting its radar emissions or activating your own radar, which immediately alerts the AWACS you're coming. Second, fly deep into contested airspace past ground-based defenses and combat air patrols without being intercepted. Third, fight through a dedicated fighter escort that has been tracking you since before you entered the threat zone. Fourth, close to weapons range against an aircraft that is maneuvering away and deploying countermeasures. Fifth, get your missile through those countermeasures and actually hit the target. Every step is extremely difficult, and you must succeed at all of them. Failing at any one means you never reach the next. It's not one wall between an attacker and the AWACS, it's 5 walls, stacked one behind the other. No enemy air force has ever done this in combat. Not one. In over 40 years of operations. The combat record, proof that the system works. The proof isn't theoretical. The E-3 has been tested in real combat, repeatedly, against real adversaries. During Operation Desert Storm, E-3 crews controlled the largest air campaign since World War II, directing over 70% of all coalition air missions. They tracked Iraqi aircraft from the moment they took off and vectored coalition fighters to intercept them with devastating efficiency. The Iraqi Air Force was outmaneuvered from the opening hours of the campaign. When Iraqi pilots attempted to flee to Iran, E-3 crews tracked every single one of them. In Bosnia, Kosovo, Afghanistan, and Iraq, E-3s provided continuous air battle management, coordinating close air support, enforcing no-fly zones, and managing complex combat airspace around the clock. And after the September 11th attacks, NATO AWACS aircraft flew combat air patrols over the continental United States, the first time in history that NATO's Article 5 Collective Defense Clause was invoked. AWACS were part of that response, watching over American skies during the most uncertain days the nation had faced in decades. Through all of it, every conflict, every deployment, every combat sortie, not a single E-3 has ever been destroyed by enemy action. The future, what comes after the E-3. The U.S. Air Force fleet has shrunk to around 31 E-3s, with an average airframe age of over 40 years. The Boeing E-7 Wedgetail has been selected as the eventual replacement, a more modern platform built on the Boeing 737 airframe with a fixed electronically scanned radar array instead of the rotating dome. It's already proven in service with Australia, South Korea, Turkey, and the United Kingdom. The transition will take years. E-3s and E-7s will fly alongside each other for some time. But the mission, airborne battle management, the eyes in the sky that see everything and direct everyone, that mission is only getting more capable. Conclusion. The E-3 AWACS doesn't carry guns, it doesn't drop bombs, but it is one of the most protected aircraft flying anywhere in the world today, surviving not because of luck, but because every layer of its defense was deliberately built, combat tested, and proven to work over 40 years. No enemy has ever taken one down. That record is no accident. If this gave you a new respect for the technology and the crews keeping America's skies safe, hit that like button and subscribe. More stories of American military excellence are on the way.